Welcome to the Get Your Mind Right podcast. Every day, I want to be the first voice inside of your head, the first voice that motivates you to move. I put out these powerful segments every single day because I know the truth. The truth is that when you change your mind, you change your life. So let me, Ryan Stewman, the hardcore closer, get your mind right. I'm going to get real with you on this podcast right from the jump, right out of the gate. When you're mad, it's because you're fearful of whatever it is that you're mad at. When you're mad, fear is that's how fear manifests itself in your face and your body and everything else. It's anger. So when you're angry at something, I'm a person with anger issues. Why? Because I'm scared of things. I'm just being real with you. When I get mad at things, I'm not perfect. We all get mad at things. When I get mad at things, I realize that it's because I'm scared that I might lose something. You see, when I was young, my family had money. They lost it all. I was adopted at a young age. I lost my dad. So when people leave me, I've got abandonment issues, which I'm scared of losing things. And it manifests itself in my life in anger. I know that there's been employees and clients and people that have gone out to do their own thing and become competitors in the past. And I would get so angry at them because I was fearful that they might take something that I had. The truth is, I was just angry at myself. And I've hired psychiatrists, I've hired coaches, I hired all these people, and I've come to one conclusion and one thing that's changed my life, and it's changed my attitude to where, hey, I still have moments where I get angry, but guess what? In the moment, I ask myself, what am I so afraid of? There's a book by Lewis Howes called The Mask of Masculinity. And as a dude, like ladies, this works for you too, but as a dude, like we can't let people know that we're fearful of things. We have to walk around and be alpha and tough guys and have all this bravado. So when the fight or flight mechanism kicks in, which is the thing that's the fear receptor in our brain, the amygdala, when the fight or flight mechanism kicks in our brain, we can't let those around us know that we're fearful. So that fear turns into anger. The anger turns into rage. We end up making stupid mistakes. We end up breaking relationships. We end up fucking up friendships. We end up doing all sorts of stuff that hurts us and does damage to us, all because we're acting out of fear. So you might ask yourself, you say, okay, Ryan, so if I'm mad, then it's because I'm fearful. You have to ask yourself first what you're fearful of. Not what you're mad at. That's the wrong question, but what you're fearful of. When you find yourself and you're in an angry situation, you have to ask yourself, what am I afraid of that's causing this anger and this rage to come out of me? The next thing you have to do is you have to think abundantly. Now listen, I know that's easier said than done, especially most of us that come from a place of scarcity, right? Like I said, my father left me, my family, they lost their businesses when I was young. So I grew up with a scarcity mentality. Your parents tell us money doesn't grow on trees. Our parents tell us that, you're not going to be able to get new shoes because we can't afford it, or whatever the hell that we grew up with, these stigmas that stuck inside of our head, these scarcity mentalities last all the way through adulthood for us. And when we're scared, which is scarcity, right? When we're scared, we're fearful. When we're fearful, it turns into rage because we're trying to protect the bravado and not let people know that we're scared of anything. As a guy, you can't tell people you're afraid of anything. What are you afraid of? You can't say you're afraid of heights. What are you afraid of? You can't say you're afraid of bears. You got to be a tough guy, right? And so what happens is you can't let anybody know that you're fearful. So what do? You turn around and you turn it into rage. But the way to fight that, after asking yourself not what you're afraid of, but what you're so mad at, not what you're mad at, but what you're so afraid of. I said that backwards there. But the key is to think abundantly. Now, look, I know it's easier said than done, but there's always more money to be got. My family, they just gave up on getting more. They decided to let the force of average send them back to a normal life. And that's okay for them. I'm not judging them because of that. I'm just saying that I don't have to make that same decision in my life, and you don't have to make it in yours. There's plenty of money. Money changes hands in a bad economy, good economy, and no economy. Money changes hands constantly. The Fed is constantly printing it. There's always more out there. You have to think abundantly. But if you lose a relationship, we see people that were in love with each other, couldn't keep their hands off of each other. And now all of a sudden one of them wants out of the relationship and they hate each other because the fear kicked in. It turned into anger. But you have to tell yourself, if you lose the person you love, there's plenty more fish in the sea. You're listening to a guy that's been divorced 3 times and still found love. If you lose a partnership, there's other people that will partner with you. If you lose a transaction, a deal, a sale, there's other transactions, deals, sales, partners. There's always more out there. You just have to control your thinking to think bigger. Drop the scarcity mentality. Stop being scared. Stop being fearful and understand and think abundantly. It will change your entire outlook on life. It will change the way that you do life. It will change the way that you live life. Because when you change your mind, you change your life. We say that on almost every episode here. You see, fear is a tool from the force of average that keeps you from stepping out of your comfort zone. You wake up mad every day because you didn't take that chance because you were scared. That's a tool. That's the struggle. That's something from the force of average to keep you from getting out of your comfort zone and leveling up. And I'm here to tell you, you've got nothing to be mad at. You just have to discover what you're afraid of. And once you discover what you're afraid of, you just have to convince yourself, change your thinking to know there's plenty more of it, because most of the time, scared comes from scarcity. Like almost all the time, scared comes from scarcity, meaning you fear of missing out. Whatever it is you miss out on today, there might be 10 more of show up tomorrow. Think abundantly, change your thinking, change your life. If you know somebody who's got anger issues, if you know somebody who's mad a lot, if you know somebody who needs to hear this, share it with them. Share it on social media. Send them an email. Send them a direct message. Get this to them. Make sure you leave me a review on iTunes. We're already one of the top podcasts on iTunes right out of the jump here in month 1. And I'm excited that you listen to this. Thank you for coming and listening to this. You can head over to hardcorecloser.com. You can catch all the archives and re-listen to all these again. You can listen to them inside of iTunes. And lastly, if you are trying to surround yourself with abundant thinkers, you're trying to be a part of a group of people that are leveling up in a major way, go to BFA, that's Break Free Academy, BFAentourage.com. We'll catch you on the next episode.